discuss renewable energy as a source of electricity in rural communities of Peru. This topic will be done by Fernandez Guerra, Camila Toledo, and Micaela Parra.
Good morning, parents, teachers, and friends. My name is Fernanda Esquerra, and my partners' names are Micaela Parra and Camila Toledo. Today, we're going to present our science fair theoretical project, which is renewable energies in Peru. Our research question refers to the fact whether Peru, by 2013, can accomplish Goal 7 of the Sustainable Development Goals established by the UN, ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all, or not? And what does our country have to do to achieve this in the next decade? To begin with, by 2018 in Peru, 6% of the population did not have access to electricity. Therefore, our country needs to increase its efforts to ensure access to this basic service. Secondly, in the last 10 years, electricity generation in Peru has been concentrated in two main energy sources, hydropower and natural gas, implying that the country's energy security is at risk. Then, we need to diversify our energy matrix by using multiple renewable energy sources that have a Finally, renewable energy sources have a great potential to be exploited here and are available all over our territory. We know how to exploit the energies, then we also have the technology and we have the potential available. Therefore, our country could use this to ensure access to sustainable energy for all. Biomass is all organic matter that comes from plants and animals or any other microorganisms. Therefore, waste such as manure or crop residues or any other organic waste are sources of bioenergy. This waste can be used directly by being burned, obtaining heat, electricity, or even biofuels. In rural areas of Peru, where low-income people do not have a supply of electricity or fuel, they burn cattle dung or firewood inside their houses, generating large emissions of toxic gases, putting at risk their health. In these areas, biomass is abundant. Therefore, anaerobic digesters could be built and implemented in rural housing, so that this energy available is harvested and without polluting the air or putting at risk the people's health. The manure of one cow can power a 100-watt light bulb continuously. That makes cow manure a significant and continual renewable energy source and a great alternative for rural area communities. Geothermal energy is thermal heat that comes from the subsurface of the earth. It is contained in the rocks and fluids beneath the earth crust and can be found close to molten rock magma. The hot fluids are extracted through wells that are dug a mile deep underground reservoirs. Then the hot steam can be used to drive turbines connected to electric generators and produce electricity, or can be directly used as heat. In Peru, there is a potential of close to 3,000 megawatts. The southern volcanic belt is the region that has the greatest potential, which is composed by Tacna, Moquegua, and Puno. Therefore, the geothermal energy available could be used to generate electricity or heat and be distributed among these areas which are the most affected every year by the frost.
Solar energy. Solar power is energy from the sun converted into thermal or electrical energy. Solar energy is the most clean and most abundant energy there is according to SEI. Although it can be harnessed in various ways, there's three major types. Photovoltaics, the use of direct sunlight for the electrical processes that happen in materials called semiconductors. Solar heating and cooling, the use of sun's thermal energy to heat or cool certain things. And finally, concentrated solar power, the use of mirrors to reinforce the sun's energies in traditional engines. On the other hand, this type of energy can also be used for everyday routines. As you can see, this is one of the most commonly used types of energy because it's near places and locations with highest availability been seen, and also at the same time it can be converted into various forms. Solar energy is the energy research with highest availability in Peru. According to the book Los Retos Energéticos del Perú, this use has been acquired since the 70s because of the petroleum crisis. So, there are about 75% of Peruvians that already have electricity, but 7 million that does not. Because of this, a lot of experiments and projects were instilled and implemented in Peru. These are some. Sir Uni and Taquel has been executing since 1996 a photovoltaic electrification pilot project in the island community of Taquel and Lake Titicaca, GEMF or MEM. This project has been used for various reasons. This has been developed in the Nazca Ica region. Wind energy. Wind energy from kinetic energy and the movement of its wind turbines. You see, in the wind turbine, it's converted into electrical energy. The power source is dependent on the length of the turbines. This is extremely important since, according to wind, if it's bigger or smaller, more energy will be produced or will be less produced, according to IRANA. Due to its characteristics, this is one of the most used clean energies in the world, according to IRANA also. Enel Green Power inaugurated the Water One power plant in Peru, the largest in the country, located in Marcona district of Nazca, province of Ica. Also, the U.S. company Contour Global inaugurated the two wind power plants in Peru, Cuspunica in La Libertad region and Talara, Peruvian region, both on the North Pacific coast and made up of 62 Vesta wind turbines.
Hydroenergy uses the power of water to generate electricity. Hydroelectric type of plant is the dam power plant. The Enel company brings water to a lot of houses. There are a lot of hydroelectric plants getting built, like the Center Sub Gavilan Third. Natural gas is a fossil energy source that is formed beneath the Earth's surface. Peru is on the rank 53 of countries that use more gas, and in 2014, Peru started using it. This energy has a lot of economical benefits for the environment, and it has more usabilities. Research question and hypothesis. The question was, Peru being a less developed country, how can we produce accessible electricity or energy for everyone in this period of time? And the hypothesis was, renewable energies are the best solution for this project due to its unlimited power, accessibility, and cost in yearly production. The results were All these projects have been beneficial in Peru, and it has made Peru a step closer to becoming a more developed country. Some projects that were successful were first, biomass energy. Fourth, Enel Green Power of Wind Energy. 5, Enel Program from Hydroenergy. 6, Camisea Project of Natural Gas. Now I'm gonna tell the statistics and the types of energy. First, 11,106 kTOE of oil. Second, 7,259 K from biofuels and waste. 2,602 of hydro. 606 kTOE of coal, and 228 kTOE of wind, gas, and others.
Discussion. Renewable energy, not only does it perform the same as electrical, even though it's not that easy, but still very efficient, it has a gigantic environmental factor. We think that renewable energy is honestly the future, especially considering things like global warming. This is a new form of energy that we highly encourage for less fortunate families because of its efficiency, natural resources, and it's unlimited. Discuss the use of wires or other forms of toxic elements that usually damage on a daily basis the environment and the atmosphere. We're killing our planet. So this would be so beneficial for our country if we started using it and instilling it in our Peruvian households. Conclusions. After various investigations and research about the benefits and successes of projects carrying energy to Peruvian houses, we can say that our hypothesis was correct. Energies are the best solution for this project, especially renewable one. If we use renewable energies, not only are we contributing with Peru's goals, hopes of a brighter, more developed and available future, but also helping the environment of our country. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Fernanda, Micaela, and Camila. Now we're gonna talk about a magnificent breakfast cereal, and this topic will be developed by Alessandro Loaiza, Juan Diego Almuna, and Carlos Ledo.
Okay. Okay, so good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Carlos, and today with my partners Alessandro Loaiza and Juan Diego Almuna, we'll be presenting our science fair project, Magnificent Breakfast Cereal. Okay, terms and concepts. Food additives, an artificial substance added to food to give it a color or taste. Percent daily value. A percent daily value, or DV, on the nutrition fact label is the guide to the nutrients in one serving of food. Iron, a dark gray metal. A slurry, a mixture of water and small pieces of solid, especially such a mixture used in industrial or farming process.
Okay, a research question. How does iron content of different breakfast cereals compare? The hypothesis. In our hypothesis, we suppose that the cereal with a higher concentration of iron will be the cornflakes because it's one which is sold as the most nutritious one.
Okay, in our objective, in this case experiment, we'll devise a method of extracting supplemental iron from food to compare their content of several brands of cereals. We also wanted to notice which cereal is better for our health.
Materials and equipment. 4 cereals including 1 cereal with an iron content of 25 dB or less, 1 cereal with an iron content of 25 or 75 dB, 1 cereal with an iron content of 75 dB or more. A cereal that iron content will be tested. Blender, plastic clear 1 liter bottles with smooth sides, distilled water 2 gallons, heavy duty magnet of any time, scissors, duct tape, large bowl, metric measuring cup with a spoon.
Okay, for the first part of the procedure, choose 4 kinds of breakfast cereal to test with the variant of the content. You will need 250 milliliters of each cereal for the experiment. Ask an adult you to cut off the bottom of the plastic 4 bottles. Take up the lids of the water bottles. When you turn the bottles upside down, they will work as funnels. Tape the magnet on the outside of the bottles about halfway down using the duct tape. as shown in the picture.
Okay. Next, you should put 250 milliliters of one type of cereal in the blender and add 250 milliliters of distilled water. Next, blend the water and cereal on high until you have a smooth slurry and there are no visible lumps or chunks of cereal left. Carefully put the slurry into the measuring cup. Rinse the blender with a small amount of water, 20 milliliters, and pour this rinse into the measuring cup. Finally, take the bottle that goes with the cereals you're using and hold it above the large bowl. Position it on the side with the cut-off part slightly higher than the top and rotate it so that the magnet is on the bottom side of the bottle as shown in this figure. In this case, slowly pour the slurry through the bottle, making sure the slurry goes over the magnet and the liquid is collected in the large bowl, as shown in this figure. If the slurry becomes solid and hard to pour, put the cereal back in the blender along with 100 milliliters of distilled water and blend it. Pour the slurry back into the measuring cup and continue pouring it through the bottle. Depending on the cereal, you may have this 4 or more times. After all of the cereal slurry have been poured through the bottle, put an additional 150 milliliters of water through. This rinse will get rid of the cereal that is in the bottle and killing the iron. Invert the bottle to get rid of water that is still in it. Remove the magnet from the bottle and finally leave the bottle to air dry from 1 to 2 hours and choose a location that is not too windy or breezy so the bottle will not roll. After this, the pellet of iron should be visible on the side of the bottle as you can see on this image.
Results. Name of cereals that we use: Chocapic, Fruit Loops, Angel, and Cornflakes. Percent daily value of iron in each cereal. In Chocapic, we found 17%, in Fruit Loops 28%, in Angel 56%, and in Cornflakes 74%. Data pellet form: in Chocapic, no; in Fruit Loops, no; in Angel, yes; and in Cornflakes, yes. Relative iron pellet size: in Chocapic was not necessary, in Fruit Loops not; in Angel medium, and in Cornflakes bigger but not so big.
Okay, so finally, after all, we can conclude that our hypothesis was correct because cornflakes were the one with the higher concentration of iron, as you see in the picture 3. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alessandro, Juan Diego, and Carlos. Now we will continue with another project. This project is called Mini Wastewater Treatment Plants for Irrigation Purposes, and it's going to be done by Juliana Cáceres, Valeria Fernandez, and Miguel Castro. Go ahead, guys.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Juliana Cáceres, and my partners' names are Valeria Fernandez and Miguel Castro. And today we will present our science fair project named Mini Wastewater Treatment Plants for Irrigation Purposes. First of all, did you know that due to the COVID-19, lots of workers are running out of work? We decided to develop this project because we realized that the lack of irrigation and potable water in Peru and in most of the developing countries is a very important issue nowadays. There are 2 wastewater treatment plants, and they are a chemical or physical and a biological. On the chemical or physical, we have that they use chemical reactions as well as physical processes to treat wastewater. But on the other hand, on the biological wastewater treatment plant, they use bacteria to break down waste matter. On the chemical or physical, we have that they are mostly used on the industries, factories, and manufacturing firms, while on the biological, they are mostly used on households and business premises. What problem we expect to solve? 783 million people around the world do not have access to clean and safe water for drinking or for watering their crops. This mini wastewater treatment plant would be used to remove particles and organisms that lead to diseases and protect the public's health by cleaning the irrigation water. So here it is a graph where we can see all the deaths due to unsafe water sources from 1990 to 2017. More than 10% of the world's population consumes food produced by irrigation with wastewater. We need to know that it is a very important issue nowadays. The percentage will be considerably higher among populations in low-income countries with arid and semi-arid climates. Both treated and untreated wastewater are used directly and indirectly for irrigation in developed and less developed countries.
The first step is the wastewater collection. Collection systems are put in place to ensure that all the wastewater is collected to a central point, and then it is directed to a treatment plant. Then we have the odor control. At the treatment plant, wastewater contains a lot of dirty substances that cause a foul smell over time. This process ensures that all the surrounding areas are free of the foul smell. Then we have screening. Equipment is used to get rid of grit that is washed down. The solid waste is removed from the wastewater and then are transported and disposed of in landfills. Primary treatment. The solid waste that settles at the surface of the tanks is removed and pushed to the center of the cylindrical tanks and later pumped out of the tanks for treatment. In the secondary treatment, air is pumped into aeration tanks, which mix the wastewater with the sea sludge and produces the growth of the bacteria that uses oxygen. In the biosolids handling, during this process, methane gases are produced and there is a formation of a nutrient-rich biosolid, which are recycled underwater into local firms. In the tertiary treatment, the plants clean the raw water for drinking purposes. In the disinfection, after the 2 stages, it eliminates the remaining treated wastewater with a mixture of chlorine and sodium hypochlorite. And in the sludge treatment, it is the last treatment. The remaining water is collected and sent back to the huge tanks for further treatment. Research question and hypothesis. Research question. Will this wastewater treatment plant purify water and convert it into irrigation water? Hypothesis. This mini wastewater treatment plant will purify water and convert it into irrigation water.
Discussion 1.1. One of the conclusions Luis Francisco Arce had reached when writing this thesis was, the proposal that is being raised in this work, decentralization, sustainable urbanizations, it seeks not only to solve problems related to wastewater management, but also generate benefits for the economic, political, and environmental sectors.
In the technical aspect, it is expected to have the arrival of more advanced, such as new advanced membrane bioreactors, Korean technology, among others, that generate greater efficiencies and are more profitable, but growth will be gradual.
In conclusion, our hypothesis was correct. This mini wastewater treatment plant will purify water and convert it into irrigation water. We have decided that our wastewater treatment plant's model will be specifically useful for on the outskirts of Lima, such as a little village named Calango. It will have very favorable results in all aspects, including the economy of the own place. Here are the sources we use for this theoretical project.
Thank you for your attention.
Thank you for your attention.